Here we go, folks. It's starting 11 prediction time for tomorrow's game away at Ross County. Off the back of Thursday's historic night, really, to top the group, get a record points tally. The team should be massively proud, first of all, of their achievement, but full of confidence. We're playing so well right now, both domestically and in Europe. In terms of Ross County, they've got no wins for the last 6 games. They're currently sitting 8th in the table with 14 points from the first 14 games. So that's a big game for us, going away up there after a late Thursday night finish in the Europa League. 3 points is absolutely a necessity for us, and I think if we turn up and play to a high level, we'll win the game comfortably. To the team then, in goals, no doubt it's going to be Fraser Foster. We talked about him in the post-match pint the other night. The form he's shown since he's came back has been huge for us, particularly in Europe. He's made so many great saves for us, and you need your keeper to do that in big games, and there's no one better than him at doing that. Right back, Moritz Bauer did come in on Thursday night. I thought he done well. I thought the whole team played pretty well on Thursday night. I do expect Jeremy Frimpong to start this game though. He's played so well every time he's put in. He's done brilliant, and I think he brings that energy to the team, and that's massively important. We know that it can sometimes be a struggle when you can get off to a slow start when you've been playing in Europe on a Thursday night. So I think the energy that Frimpong can put in the team is huge for us. So I do expect him to start at right back. In centre half, Julian and Aya, fully expect them to continue in there. Brilliant again the other night. Julian seems to be one of these players who copes really well in the big games. If you think about his standout performances, they've all been in the big games. Away at Ibrox, away in Rennes, away in Lazio, at home to Lazio. He relishes those big games and he plays to a really high level, and I think £7 million a sound investment for him. He looks really good. Aya alongside him, again cruised through the game the other night like the whole team did. And at left back, we did see a European debut for Greg Taylor. I thought he was good as well. Didn't really put a foot wrong. I thought his passing, he had a couple of passes up the line, looking for Forrest or for Johnson later in the game, and they didn't really find the range, if you like. A couple of them out of play. But other than that, I thought he played well. I thought he handled what was probably a big occasion for him in his first European start for Celtic. He handled it well. I think he will continue at left back. I don't think Bolingoli's going to be back yet. Hayes, I expect him to still be out. So Taylor out at left back, and in midfield, Scott Brown, Callum McGregor, the first 2 names on the team sheet every week. Brown, obviously, there was the whole thing about the booking the other night, so that he could maybe miss the Cluj game. I didn't click on at the game. I was unaware that he was one booking away for suspension. I've also heard people saying if UEFA find out about that, then there's a risk of another match ban, but he played really well the other night. He came off, so that's good for him as well. Beaton came on to replace him. McGregor again cruised through the game the other night. That's the good thing about Callum McGregor. He just cruises through these games unnoticed, and that's probably a sign of how well he's playing. He's so consistent every week, 7, 8 out of 10. So he's huge for us. In front of them, we seen Cham the other night. I thought he was really good. He impressed a lot of people. He was probably the most popular choice for man of the match outside the stadium. I think we're going to see Rogic back in the team against Ross County. I think that's a good game for Tom Rogic. Obviously, we've seen him back in the team now and again since he's came back from injury. The odd start, I expect him to start tomorrow. Again, good for him to get more games, try and get a run to get him back up to full speed, because as I said last week, we've seen glimpses of what we know we can expect for Tom Rogic, but the more games that he gets, the better he'll get. So I think Rogic is going to play in the 10. It could be Cham, absolutely could be. It could also be Christie, and there might be a change further up the park, but I'm going to go with Rogic. And Christie on the right hand side, again, got another goal the other night. Just been fantastic for us this season. His numbers are absolutely brilliant. He sets the tempo in terms of pressing for the team defensively, so aggressive, just a real catalyst for us, as I keep saying. He's been absolutely phenomenal this season. He's on the right hand side, I think, and on the left hand side it will be James Forrest. Again, a massive player for us just now, playing so well. I was really impressed with him the other night again. A great cutback for the opener for Lewis Morgan, and a constant threat all night, really, as he always is, just playing at such a good level right now. And up top, this was where we seen the surprise on Thursday. None of us expected Lewis Morgan to start the game. I still don't know actually if Edouard was injured. I think it's not even official, the only thing I've heard said about it is it was either Johnston or Morgan in the post-match interview on the Celtic YouTube channel said that said about him getting injured or being injured. I haven't heard Neil Lennon confirm anything. I think he's probably just got a little niggle and they chose to rest him the other night. I'm going to put him back in tomorrow. I think if he's fit he will play, because again this is back to the bread and butter for us. 3 points an absolute must. He's a really important player for us. He'll have benefited from that rest, provided that he is injury free. He'll have benefited for that rest on Thursday night, and I expect him to come into this game. We've got obviously Griffiths on the bench. He came off the bench the other night as well, Griffiths. These games will help him, and he will get he'd another chance, another couple of shots at goal when he came on, and that will come for him. Those goals will come, we know that, and as soon as he gets one, his confidence will be sky high again, and hopefully he can get into a run. So if Edouard is struggling, or if we're looking to rest him, I think if he starts in this game, we've got Griffiths to come off the bench early. As long as we get good control of the game and a good lead, we can bring Edouard off. Obviously the cup final is next weekend. We've got Hamilton at home during the week as well, which is another opportunity for Neil Lennon to possibly rest Edouard. But I think he'll start in this game. That's the team I've went with. Like the video, comment with your own thoughts below. Who do you think will start at right back? Who's going to be in the 10? And will we see Edouard back up front? Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you tomorrow after the game for all of the post-match reaction. Thank you.